A simple piece of A4 white paper has become an object of fear for the ruling party in Red China today. The White Paper movement, also known as the White Paper Revolution, has become part of the recent protests in many cities in China. It's a symbol of mourning and the inability to speak out, as students at universities, such as Tsinghua University, hold up the white paper. We want democratic rule of law. We want freedom of speech.
From now on, stop blowing the public power.
Yes. This is not a normal China. In a media college in South China, students also held white papers in protest, prompting the school to turn off the streetlights suddenly. Long live the people, may the dead rest in peace. Long live the people, may the dead rest in peace. Long live the people, may the dead rest in peace. Later on, the principal arrived at the scene and threatened the students. Turn on the lights. Why not turn on the lights? You will have to pay for what you did today, one day.
You also have to pay for what you did. There are gods 3 feet above your head.
Epidemic prevention and control is the national policy. Nucleic acid testing, the requirement, is the same for all. The state's request is unreasonable. We will stand here always. Please turn on the school lights. Is anything wrong with that? The White Paper movement soon spread to over 50 universities in China. No to nucleic acid test. Yes to freedom. The young people of Hong Kong also showed their solidarity. The main reason I am here is that I don't quite agree with the mainland China's policies on COVID prevention and control. I think it's too late, and we must change the policies as soon as possible. This is the most direct reason. On the other hand, I saw that many people in mainland China have come forward and used their actions to express their views. I think I must support them. Since then, a document has been circulating on China's social media platform, Weibo, showing that a listed stationery store in China will stop all sales of A4 paper from November 29th. Later, the company denied the news, saying that the online document was fake news. But netizens responded by writing, "As soon as you refute the rumor, I know it's true, and go Warriors." More Chinese people have come to realize that the pain and anger they have felt over the last 3 years as a result of the government's extreme anti-epidemic control measures have finally been ignited by an accidental fire in Urumqi, Xinjiang. The fire broke out in a bedroom on the 15th floor of an apartment building on November 24th, spreading from the 15th to the 17th floor. It took firefighters 3 hours to extinguish the fire because all escape routes in the building had been locked. Officials announced that the fire killed at least 10 people, including children as young as 2 and 3 years old, and injured 9 others. The tragedy in Urumqi then became a topic resonating among the Chinese community. A large number of drawings and texts of mourning started to circulate from the evening of the 24th, but what made public wrath escalate was the official announcement by Urumqi officials on the 25th. Claiming that the cause of the fire was an extension cord catching fire in a resident's home, and that the deceased were unfamiliar with the location of the safety exit, too weak in self-defense, too weak in self-rescue ability, and so on.
I'm here to commemorate our tens of compatriots who died in the Urumqi fire, because we all know the cause of their death was that the fire trucks could not get closer due to the blockage implemented under COVID lockdown. As a result, they died in their apartment upstairs. This was a man-made disaster. I feel very sad for them and want to express myself and hope for some changes to the current COVID lockdown policy, which is a reasonable request.
As a result, in addition to 50 universities responding to the White Paper Revolution, protest rallies were held in at least 10 cities across China by the end of November 2022. People were frequently seen fearlessly confronting police on the streets. Most alarmingly, mass protests also took place in China's capital, Beijing. On the evening of November 27th, a crowd of mainly young and middle-aged people gathered to mourn the victims of the Xinjiang fire, holding white papers in silent protest as cars honked their horns in support. The event quickly went viral on the internet. Upon hearing about it, many folks in Beijing showed up, and after nightfall, more and more people joined the protest.
让所有老百姓不要有恐惧。
I think we just need to identify the close contacts or semi-close contacts, those people who might be infected. This is just enough. We don't need this huge screening of the whole compound. It's not necessary to be so meticulous.
In Shanghai, a lot of people have already been detained. Not only last night, they did it for everybody, for all the people, for the delivery guys not to be locked in their apartments, for everybody to be able to receive medicines and food. We need to help these people, free those people in Shanghai.
How is it possible that the national anthem of one's own country, or the Internationale, the same songs that are sung at official meetings, are now forbidden? How is it possible to be arrested for singing those songs? Some people at the scene said that after so many days of containment, people died in a man-made accident. They think that what the media reports are all lies, so they choose to hold up a white paper to express their silent condolences.
The stampede in Korea was covered by all the media the next day. But look at ours. Do we have any official coverage? Our own people and citizens died in a man-made accident. Have you seen our media covering it?
No.
No, it's all lies, all silence. It's all silence. So we launched our own white paper memorial movement. Did we see anything on paper? No. All the accusations are within our hearts. All the mourning is within our hearts. I just saw the news of today's memorial service in my WeChat circle, so we rushed over. We were told that the lot was under temporary lockdown. Are you familiar with the term lockdown or control?
Yes.
What have we heard most recently?
Lockdown and control.
What should we do?
Lift the lockdown and control.
Right. We should demand to unblock. Don't block the fire escape. Don't block the passageway of survival.
我们要让国家变得更加强大。谢谢大家。我要去找我的家人。
Beijing police deployed a large number of cops to block nearby intersections to prevent people from joining the protest. By the early morning of November 28th, the gathered people were dispersed by police. As they walked through some sections of the road, vehicles on the road honked their horns in support and people chanted, "Long live the people." The fires in Urumqi have made many Chinese realize that this kind of unwarranted disaster can happen to them at any time. On November 26th, a citizen in Beijing took pictures of her building being locked and controlled. All the access doors are padlocked and only the property owner has the key to open them. That is, there will be no way to escape in case of emergency.
或者是两个门，右边这个门就是两边都有出户，然后右边
There are exits on both sides. The right side door is completely locked. There's absolutely no way out. And there's a note on the door. Look again, there are 2 doors on this floor.
然后这是一个长壁式防火门，然后。
This is a fire door that's normally closed. It's clearly written, no locking, no blocking. But now it's locked. It was locked with chains so tightly that it could not be opened. Only the property management people have the key to open.
然后这从这右边还有一个门。
The people of several neighborhoods in Beijing have spontaneously gone to the neighborhood committee to question, who ordered the blocking of the neighborhood? Does the neighborhood committee have the enforcement power to carry out the blocking and control? The owners of this neighborhood later sang the national anthem in an attempt to break open the locked gate, but it is not yet known whether they succeeded or not. Shanghai was even more unsettled during this period. On the night of November 26, a large number of Shanghai people gathered at Urumqi Middle Road to hold a candlelight vigil for the victims of the Urumqi fire with white papers in their hands. During the protest, slogans such as "Step Down Xi Jinping" and "Step Down Communist Party" were openly shouted. Some people were taken away by police. The next day, there was another protest in Shanghai's Urumqi Middle Road, demanding the government to release people, and soon the police blocked the roads so that no one can get in, only out. Free the people, free the people, free the people. Dynamic Zero COVID, Dynamic Zero COVID. The crowd stayed to protest from day until the night. According to local citizens, Urumqi Middle Road is close to the U.S. consulate, also previously known as the French Concession in Shanghai. It consists mostly of villas with expensive real estate and residents mostly being foreigners. Not many locals live there. The people who gathered to protest were mostly citizens and students from other parts of Shanghai, and there were no colleges or universities nearby. It's rumored that about 300 people were arrested, but so far there are no official reports about this in Shanghai. In addition, the Shanghai authorities tried to remove the Urumqi Middle Road street sign. Netizens suggested renaming the street Dynamic Zero COVID Road. Some individuals went to put a couple of llamas of different colors in the street at the center of the city. The animal llama is often used by Chinese folks as an alternative to cursing, as they share similar pronunciations. The animal was also used by the protest crowd in the previous video when they shouted Dynamic Zero COVID, "Cao Ni Ma." Perhaps the Shanghai government felt it was too humiliating to remove the street sign, so they eventually decided to return the sign and block off the area instead. During the same period, clashes between citizens and nucleic acid testers occurred in several neighborhoods in Chongqing. At night, large numbers of residents took to the streets to protest, and physical confrontations erupted between them and the police. Some protesters hollered, "Why'd beat people?" Angry crowds overturned nucleic acid testing booths, leaving test reagents and other testing supplies all over the ground. In an interview with overseas Chinese media on November 28th, a Chongqing citizen surnamed Li said, "Many Chongqing citizens have now awakened to the fact that this nucleic acid test is a fake, so much so that they no longer line up for the test voluntarily." He said, "Now the authorities are standing on a volcanic crater and the public is getting increasingly angrier. Currently, even those police officers aren't allowed to go home, and they are complaining and feel helpless behind the scenes." It should be noted that the CCP has been quite successful in brainwashing people over the past 70 years. Therefore, it seems that nowadays a growing number of Chinese people are brave to stand up and fight. But there are still many people who are still trapped in the odd bubble of patriotism or love for the party as taught by the CCP. I think everyone has their own demands in this matter. I think it's good for the environment of the whole country to have such a space for discussion. However, what will come out in the end, it is better to come out of it with a result for every citizen and each person to discuss it for themselves. I can understand that some people would be against such a situation, but I can't say which side I am on. We should still be rational about patriotism or supporting Xinjiang. Don't let the bad guys lead us down the wrong path. There are many ways we can help our friends. There is no need to choose this way, a way that I feel does not use proper thinking. These actions will disturb the public order. Indeed, on social media, there are some forces with ulterior motives relating the fire with the local response to COVID-19. The Urumqi city government has already held a news conference to clarify what actually happened and refuted the disinformation and smears. As to some people's concerns about the safety of living in China you just mentioned, I think it is totally unnecessary. For most of us living in China, it is quite safe. After the protests, the streets of Beijing seem to have returned to calm. People are lining up again for nucleic acid tests. But what is foreseeable is that Chinese people's lives and thinking will not go back to the past. Given the harsh and high-demanded control of the CCP, such a protest in more than 10 cities and a white paper movement in more than 50 universities is very rare. What will it bring to China? We believe that this time, the vast majority of the public started with a demand for lifting the lockdowns, which is essentially a demand to defend their rights and to target a policy of the CCP. Whether or not the incident will continue to grow will likely depend on whether or not the various local governments are likely to relax their control measures. If they do so moderately, it may make some people feel that they have achieved their demand for lifting the restrictions. However, when freedom slogans are called out, they bear something else beyond lifting the restrictions, and various demands will be raised. The CCP has to be always correct and therefore incapable of self-correction and improvement. In the future, it will exert even stronger pressure on the people so that the people's demands for lifting restrictions will eventually escalate to deeper social issues, namely questioning the CCP's rule and demanding changes. Therefore, we believe that the current protests of this scale in China are only the eve of a major storm in a country that is about to undergo significant changes.